I'd like to say a few words now about the reports that reviewers and panels produce. And I'm factoring in the HETAC experience here. Reports need to be succinct, yet rich in insight. Sometimes there can be a tendency to write quite an amount that may not necessarily be as useful or as accessible as might be thought at the time of writing. So I think succinctness is something that we should have in mind. They need to provide a strong evidence base. There is a danger in writing reports of being overly descriptive, of making judgments that are not backed up by a strong evidence base. So clearly, if the evidence base is there, there's added strength to the recommendation, to the commendation, whatever is involved. They need to balance commendation with recommendation. A panel visit is not a demolition derby. It's about taking the opportunity to work with the institute, with the staff, with the students, to see, well, can we look at things in a different way? Can we perhaps move things in a different direction? Can we get confirmation maybe on some of the strategic direction we've been taking? The reports need to speak directly and clearly. Now you might say that's a blinding flash of the obvious, but sometimes there can be a tendency in writing reports of this kind to unwittingly perhaps engage in what I might call diplomacy speak, making a point so indirectly and perhaps so diplomatically that the message is totally lost, or the reader just doesn't quite get it, doesn't understand the point being made. So I think if you have the evidence base, if you're sensitive in how you write the report, and if you're prepared to be succinct and to speak clearly and directly, those risks will not arise. More than anything, the reports need to envision a better place, because that's the object of the QA exercise. They need to focus particularly on teaching and learning, because that's at the very heart of what we do in higher education. Increasingly, our system, and I think other systems internationally, are focusing more and more on the learning part of that equation, on the skills that are required by our students, on the learning outcomes that are manifest, because they have direct relevance, obviously, to how our society works and functions.